All right, we should be set. Good morning, everyone. And today's topic is buying leads, whether it's through Zillow or Realtor.com. Basically, I talked with my uncle and we kind of wanted to bring this up because, you know, these models keep changing, whether it's with Zillow or Realtor.com, their structure always changes. And we wanted to get an idea of what people were personally doing out there, and hopefully they could share their thoughts and experiences and how they're using it to get them more business. By raise of hands, is anyone buying leads from Zillow at this point in time? Kara, Stacey, you guys are both buying leads? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you don't mind, I'd ask one at a time, if you could share your guys' experience, how you guys structure that with your team, and how it's working out for you.
Go ahead, Kara, you go first.
Okay, well, yes, I do purchase leads for 2 different zip codes from Zillow. I do it to the, not huge, but I'm kind of in at between 800 and 1,200 a month. And then I refer all the leads come to me. Okay, they're utilizing my phone. And then with Zillow, you have to pick up and answer right away, because whenever that call comes in, if you don't answer, it will, or if you're on the line talking with somebody else, doesn't matter. It leaves you a message and says, I've gone on to the next person. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to have your phone with you if you're going to do that, or have someone to do that. I know some teams have different phones that they'll give and rotate and carry around. I just don't do that because I keep my phone with me. And that way also I know who's coming in. I know, since I'm spending the money on it, are they good people? Are they qualified people? Or is it just not, is it not worth it? So whenever I answer the phone call, it's a Zillow rep. They will talk to me, tell me who the person is, and what property they think they want to see, usually within an hour or so. And then I talk they patch me through to the person. The first thing I do, because whenever they're coming through to me, they don't know me. They're not coming to my cell phone number. They do not know Kara Schaefer or the Kara Schaefer group whatsoever, typically, right? So first thing I say to them once I get them on the line is, hey, Sam, if we get disconnected, let me have your cell phone number so that I can get back to you. Because if not, and you drop them, they're going to call back into Zillow and they're going to go to somebody else.
Sure.
Okay, so I get that. Once I talk with them, I figure out a little bit about them, spend, I don't know, some time, not a lot of time, probably 15 to a half an hour talking with them. Then I will say, okay, great. I'm either going to keep this person myself, or I'm going to refer it out to one of the team members. And that's how we do it. And then once it goes to the team member, I follow up with them, and they keep pretty good records on what's a Zillow, what it's turned into, that kind of thing. It has paid for itself already. It's paid for itself.
Awesome. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's great to hear. That's definitely a good technique too, as you're answering the call, start with getting their cell phone like you're talking about. That way, it is common, if you get disconnected, what have you, you have a means of getting back to them, because the call comes in on, I know from our personal experience, it's a Zillow line. So it goes back to Zillow and it's not their actual cell phone number that you're connected with. Right. Part of that new structure is kind of what our team had frustrations with is, in years past, they used to email you or text you a notification with contact information and stuff like that. That way you could follow up with them in your own time. But Zillow, these days, you have to answer that phone call, or like you said, it goes on to the next person. With that being said, is there any lead follow-up, drip campaigns, or anything in particular that you have built out, like a system for these online leads of how to continue to contact them? Because obviously a lot of times they're not buying right away. It may take them a couple months, a year or so. How are you guys staying in touch with these folks?
You know what? I do not have any formal drip campaign or anything like that. We are utilizing and starting with Top Producer, and I know Morgan has entered many of them, I guess, into Top Producer, and is following up with a system through there. Do you want to talk about that and tell them how you follow up, Morgan, and keep track of them?
Yeah, I just have like different days. Before working in real estate, I worked at a car dealership, and we had a certain follow-up where like day 3, we would contact them about this, 4, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30. And then I kind of just mirrored what we did at the car dealership. So instead of like, do you want to take a test drive? It's like, do you want to tour one of these houses? Or instead of sending maybe a link to our credit application, I'll send here's some different lender contacts. And then just continuing to follow up after 30 days. And then at 30 days, I go 35, 40, 45, 60. So just continuing to follow up with them until you get some response back.
Sure. That's awesome. That's a great approach. Stacey, do you mind sharing with us your system and how you use it?
Yes, we also do a number of zip codes that we're trying to focus on. Ours started out a little different, not just to create the leads, but just also for the brand awareness, so that when people were looking online and they could see who agents were in the area, our picture would just be there. So then if they saw us somewhere else, they are recognizing that this group was seen a multiple amount of times. We have just started the process of connecting everyone in our group to our Zillow profile. So when they see the Stacey Malott group, they're now actually going to be seeing all of the agents within that group. And when they hit connect with an agent, ours is set up that it's going to be a round robin scenario. So if the system recognizes that I got the call and picked it up and connected, the next time it's going to go to Kyra directly. I had been doing it just like Kara, where I was screening all of them, but now the girls are ready to take off on their own and they can handle those particular contacts. We do not typically hold too long of a conversation with them. We kind of qualify them to see if they have pre-approvals and if they're really capable of seeing a house. And so I would say our calls are probably 5 to 10 minutes max. And then we're scheduling the appointment to go see them. And our main connection will happen in person.
Sure.
What else did we do? Did we do anything different? No,
I don't think so.
no.
I like the round robin call system. That's how we had it structured personally for our team. It does help you out in instances where somebody's on a listing appointment or something like that, where they can't take the phone call. It rings a couple different people at one time on your team.
Yes.
And like you're talking about, they do have new team kind of profiles that you can link all your team members together, keep track of where the leads are going, and it's definitely beneficial. Are any of you guys utilizing, I know some lenders are able to provide a sort of structure where they're able to pay up to, I think, 50% of your marketing efforts within Zillow or Realtor.com. Is anybody using that with their lenders right now?
No, but I'm going to ask someone to do that.
It's definitely possible. It's out there. They can provide credit to 50% of your spend. So if you're comfortable spending what you are now, obviously they could spend an additional 50% of that to help you guys get more leads. I just wanted to share that for everybody who didn't know, and also ask if anybody was currently utilizing that. With that being said, does anybody have experience with Realtor.com in using their setup, and can kind of elaborate on the differences and what they do and don't like in comparison to Zillow?
Emily uses Realtor.
Okay. Emily, you want to give us the scoop on Realtor.com?
Sure. So it's not quite like Zillow, where you get a phone call and you have to talk to that person immediately. It just comes through as a request and says, you know, Sam is interested in this house. And you can let it sit there, or you can call them right away. It's all on what you want to do. It gives you all their information right away, and their phone number, their email address. You can contact them through Realtor.com or direct them to their phone number. And it's all on just how soon you want to get to them. Obviously, the sooner the better.
Sure.
But there are also, I have Chambersburg, Shippensburg, and Carlisle leads. Some are shared, which means, you know, me and Kyra and Stacey get the same lead at the same time. Some are not. Some are not shared, which it comes directly to me. It depends on what you want to pay and how, like, what's available, basically. But that's it. If you want to call them, you can. If you don't have to answer them. They're not on the line right then. But, you know, obviously, the quicker the better.
Sure.
But that gives you the ability to text them back and
Right.
set the time to talk, versus Zillow,
Right.
where you have to answer the call immediately, or
Right.
you don't get the information.
Yes. And Realtor has an automatic, so I got the contact. Sam says he's interested in the property. Automatically, he gets an email or a text through the app that says, "Hi, I'm Emily Weaver. I work with Remax. I'd love to help you." And you can customize that to say whatever you want. Is there a good time for us to talk? Anything like that. So then they get that feeling of someone just answered me. And then a lot of times they'll come back with, yeah, I can talk after 12 today, or, you know, something like that. So it kind of helps you feel like you did respond to them, but you didn't really. But they feel like you did.
Right. Those automatic responses are definitely a nice touch. Have you guys done any type of kind of analyzing what you're spending there versus Zillow? And is there any better return on the amount of leads that you're getting on one site versus the other, in your opinion?
We have not compared yet. At the end of the year, we will look at it from a yearly standpoint to see how many leads came in for M, what she was able to turn. Now on Zillow, because I do such a large amount to cover all of us, I can determine at any given month if what I've spent year to date versus what we've closed for Zillow is if I'm at a break even or if I'm making money off of it. And of course, that's even after, I can see it even after, before a split and after a split for the team. So for me, Zillow by far is proving to be a good investment from that aspect.
Nice.
I have
Nice.
spent like a minimal amount of money compared to Stacey and Kara, that I know that if I get one lead in any, really could be from 150 to 350 or 650. If I get that one lead, it pays for that whole entire month or two. So
Sure.
That's how I justify it. I think it's enough for me.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's the common thread. Most people you talk to are seeing a return on their investment. So, you know, the leads that they're getting seem in these years to be a little bit more quality, with, you know, Zillow doing their own scrubbing on their end before you get the phone call. They're more serious buyers, and I think that's kind of indicative of the market right now. Less people are looking because they've heard the craziness of the market, and only the serious people who are serious about buying are out there searching right now for the most part.
I will say through Zillow also, once you have connected with your lead, you are automatically attached to that person's profile for a period of time. And so every morning when literally like the very first email in my box every morning is an update on all of the people that we have ever connected with. And it might say, so-and-so is back looking after 2 months, or this is now the location that so-and-so is looking at or clicked on. And if you click on that person's profile, it will literally tell you every house they clicked on or liked, which then prompts us to be able to follow up and say, hey, I saw that you really were interested in, Canyon Creek and Mechanicsburg. I'd love to take you to look at it. So that also helps.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very cool feature to be able to kind of keep track of what they're searching for and what they're looking at. It definitely gives you a means of following back up with them on it. With that being said, Remax.com, any leads that you get from Remax International, the same sort of thing happens to them within your Booj profile if you didn't know. Once you accept that lead, they become branded to you, and within your Booj profile, you're able to see their search activity and know what they're looking at, what they're searching for, if they were inactive for a certain period of time, and if they became active again. Is there any other sites or, buying leads, websites that people have experience in and would like to share in comparison to what we already talked about, obviously Zillow and Realtor.com? Anyone?
Hey, Brooks, I'm kind of in the corner over here, but it's Tara.
Yeah.
HUD, if anybody contacts you for HUD leads, they've been terrible, like terrible. I've probably gotten 40 leads, and whenever they send any information, so if they just send a phone number, I call and text. If they send phone number and email, I call, email, and text. I've gotten screamed at, cussed out, hung up on, and like literally this one guy sent in this lead for like $1 million property in Hagerstown. So of course I'm like on that in a second. He's like, yeah, I just wanted a rental. I'm looking at about $500 a month. So I don't know like what they do to like screen the leads, but it's not something I would suggest because I've gotten a ton and I haven't been able to do anything with them. So
Is that something to
Wow. Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like a positive experience on that one. So HUDleads.com, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. So.
And
It's basically like a website that you go on. I mean, it's basically for pre-foreclosures or foreclosed homes, correct, Tara?
No, it's any kind of property. Whenever they go in, they put in like what their credit score is, and most of them have like poor credit scores, what their income is, where they're looking. So I bought Washington County and Franklin County, where they're looking, what their price is, and then like what their time frame is, whether they are currently a renter or whether they own a home supposedly that they need to sell. But none of the information has been correct. Like some of the names look like fake names. A lot of times when you call the phone numbers, you just get like the do, and I'm like, yep, that's not real. So what stinks about it, not only do you waste money, but you waste a ton of time following up with these people to try to reach out to them, and it just turns out to be nothing.
It sounds to me like it's a website that they're trying to get people to sign up on, assuming they're going to get HUD leads.
I believe, and then they also attach a lender to it also. So if you look, it gives you their information, and at the bottom, it looks like there's a lender that they also kind of send the information to, so that there's an agent and a lender following up with these people, which was kind of frustrating because they're like, oh, we really vet these people and we try to figure, and no, they don't. No, they don't.
Because they're obviously not just HUD leads, they're regular leads. And that's probably why these people are getting upset, is they're looking for HUD properties.
Well,
Well,
they'll just say, oh, I was just searching the internet and I just happened to click on something and now you're calling me. Like, they don't even understand why. Like,
yeah,
you know.
that's what I was going to say. Beware, because there are plenty of websites, and I get calls, at least once a week of some new website offering. Are you, available to accept seller leads in your area? And, it's people reselling contact information off of, different websites where people either get on lendingtree.com and fill out a form to get pre-approved or something like that. And now other websites buy up this contact information and resell it out. Unfortunately, that happens all over the place. So just be aware of that and kind of look into these sites before you start putting any type of spend into them.
Brooks, so this is a lead that I just started to pay for. It's not your traditional website based lead like a Zillow or a Realtor, but one thing that I did, and I literally just rolled this out about 2 months ago, is my daughter is a varsity cheerleader at the high school. And so I went to the board and I said I would pay X amount of dollars for every transaction that someone sent to me to the child's cheer account, because they all have to raise money for all of their things throughout the year. So the parents, I thought, were going to die when they realized that all they had to do was send me leads. As long as that lead closed in a sale, they received $150 to their child's account. So if they were buying and selling, they could earn up to $300. I have received so many phone calls. As a matter of fact, the listing that I just took, Cole Park, is a lead that came from a cheer parent. And so she listed and she bought. And that commission between the two is going to be well over $7,000, and I'm paying her $300 in the lead. So I just encourage you to think outside of the box regarding where you can pay for your leads. Just make sure it's done in a legal manner, right?
Sure.
I can't, from their standpoint, I can't write a check directly to the person, but I can make the donation into the account for the child from a cheer standpoint. So, and I know Sharon is doing the same thing in her insurance world. If her past employees who worked in the insurance get wind that one of the customers is going to be selling a house, and they send her the lead and she gets the listing or the sale, then she will also give them $150 when it closes.
Cool. Yeah, that's a very unique, interesting approach. And it seems to be working out really well for you. How are you marketing that to the parents out there? Are there flyers, or how are you
so
doing
I
that?
created a very basically just an informational flyer, went to the cheer booster meeting, asked to have a few minutes. When it came time for them to talk about fundraising, I presented this as a new way for them to fundraise for their child, and showed them that this was something that would go all year long. I also let them know that if they had a son who played baseball or a daughter who played softball and they wanted this same structure for them, that it could roll on. Same with their grandparents, uncles, aunts. For every lead that I receive that is earmarked for that particular family, they would get the $150 once it closes.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, I mean, it's basically going old school and knocking on the door when you go into like an insurance office and you're like, hi, have you ever done this before? And you just get in front of the person and give them the opportunity to make a little bit of money. And,
Sure. That's great. Anyone else want to add anything unique that they're doing to get leads?
Brooks, I wouldn't say it's unique, but we started about 3 years ago doing monthly mailers through the Buffini referral system. And in the past, in this past year, I've probably done 3, 4. In fact, I have an appointment Friday night, all previous clients, where they've either referred me out to somebody or they're ready to sell or they're ready to buy. And just staying in touch. I know back when I was in the car business, they used to preach to us, don't forget about your existing clients. You're always out there beating the drum to grab that new one, but you've got these people that trusted you, know you, and done business with you, that they're just as important, if not more important, to stay in touch with. And a simple Buffini supplies us with a monthly mailer that has, I've had a lot of people comment or call me about, hey, we really appreciate your monthly mailer. We read it every month. It comes with a letter that you put with it. Simple, stick it in an envelope. Lee puts labels on it, mails it out. And it's really starting to pay dividends. And we send out about 220 a month. And so we use regular first class postage and regular envelope, regular size, everything. And it has really started to pay dividends now, as far as don't forget your existing clients is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And Buffini has mastered that system of building better relationships with the people within your database, your families, your COIs, and your past clients. He's got one heck of a system, and it definitely does wonders and pays you dividends when you approach it the right way and are consistent at staying in touch with those folks. Uncle Tim, Poppy, anything you guys want to add?
I certainly appreciate everybody sharing. There's some unique systems that were shared today that are really innovative, and you need to do that in this business to continue on. If you put a schedule together to do the things that have just been discussed here today, you cannot miss. That's what it's all about. We have a saying, and Jim uses it all the time: contacts make contracts. And if you continue to make the contacts whichever way it's found out, I just love that school board approach. To me, we have the Andersons that work Central Dolphin School, and we have people that should be doing this, and what a great idea. I just love it, and I love this session. I think this really helped everybody on the call. Jim?
Yeah, it was a good call. I was going to have Kyra say something, but she just texted me and said maybe next time, but I'm going to put her on the spot now. But, there's a lot of valuable things we get from these calls. Not only do we learn from everybody's experiences with Realtorcom and Zillow,
No,
but
we're talking about.
Kyra's significant other just started a new business, and he's going to be a home inspector. And I'm not sure if he bought a franchise or just created his own company, but it looked interesting, the information I read on it. And is he willing to come down to the Carlisle Mechanicsburg area also?
You're unmuted. Oh, I am? Yeah. Yeah, he is. So he actually went through all the courses and everything at the end of last year when I was going through all of my real estate classes. So he had gotten laid off from his job, and Stacey gave us the bright idea. I'll just give her all the credit. of getting something like this started. It just so happened he was like perfect for it. So he's actually been doing some of our inspections for the past 6-8 months. And while he was kind of getting organized with everything, we were just like taking it slow, getting integrated, and now he's ready to really just hit the ground running. So yes, he will come to Mechanicsburg. He's done.
I will say
County,
he is fabulous. He is not only very good for the buyer and keeps them calm about the things that they find, and he presents the way he should, but he's very good with the agents as well. So he's one of those, you're not going to lose a deal because of the way he presents everything in the right way to the client.
Yeah, two of the things that I noticed when I read the information that he provided on Facebook yesterday was, and I think this is good for the agents, is you can book these times online. So you're no longer are you picking up the phone and trying to coordinate the times between your client and the home inspector and not knowing what they have available. You can literally find out from your buyer what times they're available, go onto his website and slot yourself in the correct time frame. So I thought that was interesting. And then the second thing was that he's going to be using a drone also to look at the roof and look at those situations. So I just wanted to bring it up. Obviously, we want to support him and utilize his services. As with Stacey's husband, he owns a restoration business. You know, anybody has a mold situation or needs any sort of restoration from water, that type of thing. Stacey Malot's husband owns a service, what is it called? Service Master?
Service Master.
Service Master franchise. So just was nice. It was nice to read that yesterday, and I wanted to at least introduce that to the group. So
Well, thank you.
other than that, Brooks, I don't have anything. Thank you for organizing this again.
Sounds good. I'll send out the link later this week for next week's meeting, and hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week.
All right, we'll see you.
Once again, it's the power of teamwork that makes everything happen. Keep it up. It's great. Take care, guys.